Hidden deep in the heart of Europe, there is a forgotten relic of a grand yet unrealized ambition: massive canal locks, now crumbling and abandoned. These structures once promised to change the waterways of Germany and Poland forever, yet they were never completed, abandoned by history and consumed by nature. Today I will uncover the story of two of these colossal projects. In the early 20th century, Germany was undergoing an industrial transformation, driven by a vision of connectivity through its waterways. The Elster-Saale Canal was part of this vision. After a government agreement in 1920, plans were laid out for this colossal canal project. Its goal was to connect the White Elster and Saale rivers, allowing large cargo vessels to navigate through the heart of Germany, avoiding costly rail or road transportations. The lock system would enable ships to traverse a significant elevation change between the canal and the Saale River. This engineering marvel was designed to consist of two large locks, each with a drop of 11 meters. These locks, often referred to as economy locks, were state-of-the-art, designed to conserve water by utilizing reservoirs to fill and empty the chambers efficiently. The construction of the Wüstenzug lock staircase began in 1933 under the regime of the Third Reich. Adolf Hitler's government, with its focus on massive infrastructure projects, saw the canal as a vital component of Germany's future economic dominance. The canal would allow heavy cargo vessels to bypass difficult river sections, speeding up transportation and boosting trade. At the same time, in eastern Prussia, now modern-day Poland, a very similar project was taking shape, with the Masurian Canal, stretching over 50 kilometers, about 31 miles. The canal was designed to connect the Masurian Lakes, one of the largest freshwater regions in Europe, to the Baltic Sea. First proposed as early as the 18th century, the project gained renewed momentum in the late 19th century, as engineers sought to create a direct link between the inland lakes and the bustling port of Königsberg, now Kaliningrad. The Masurian Canal, much like the other project, was designed to overcome significant elevation differences between the lakes and the sea. 10 locks were planned to manage the 110-meter descent, ensuring smooth passage for large vessels through the canal. The canal would not only serve as a transport route for goods, but it was also intended to power hydroelectric stations along its course, making it an essential resource for the growing industrial needs of the region. So if I didn't mention it already in the video, this has been turned into like a zip line park. By 1911, construction had begun on the Masurian Canal, with laborers digging vast trenches and laying the foundations for the locks. But as with many grand projects of the era, history intervened. World War I brought construction to a halt, and by 1914 the canal was far from complete. For over a decade the project was halted. In the 1920s, the canal projects faced a new challenge: Germany's crippling financial crisis. Hyperinflation and economic instability forced the government to abandon many infrastructure projects. The lock staircase, despite its strategic importance, was delayed indefinitely. The Masurian Canal, too, was left incomplete, with only a few locks partially constructed. This period of stagnation saw the once promising projects slide into obscurity. However, when the Nazis rose to power in the 1930s, they reignited the vision for these canals. Infrastructure became a cornerstone of the Nazi regime's ambitions, and construction resumed on both the Wüstenzug and Masurian Canal projects. But as World War II loomed, resources and manpower were diverted, and once again, these monumental projects were delayed. The outbreak of World War II in 1939 marked the final blow to these Grand Canal dreams. For both projects, the war made their completion impossible. Laborers and materials were urgently needed for the war effort, and these once prioritized canals were now seen as non-essential. In 1943, construction on both canals was permanently halted. The Nazis had initially hoped that the canals would serve their military purposes, especially for the transportation of goods, and perhaps even naval vessels. But as the war dragged on, the focus shifted entirely to the battlefield. The unfinished locks, left to the elements, became part of the abandoned landscape of wartime Europe. concrete skeletons of an era that never fully realized its ambitions.